the liquidity from the SpaceX IPO, the money, is going into crypto. If you take any asset, any high quality asset, and you buy it around the 200-week moving average, you will outperform the stock market every day. A lot of people yell at Saylor. What is he doing? Is it good for Bitcoin? Is it bad for Bitcoin? I think Saylor's a maniac. Just to maybe put this into perspective on where we are in the Bitcoin bear market, and then how it relates to Saylor. I think it's pretty obvious, Bitcoin is in a bear market. I believe that we're in the bottoming process right now. The good news is we're over halfway over. We're in the bottoming process, and just some key indicators I look for is, one, we touched the 200-week moving average. Now we have to get all those lower time frame moving averages, the 50, whatever, to consolidate into it. So for the next, I would say 6 months, we're ranging between 50 and 78, I like to hope. And I think the urgency with Saylor buying is that he understands that same thing, that this is a rare opportunity. We were in a bull market for years. The bear market is the best time to accumulate to get rich. And that's why, Saylor figured out a way to not just market blast the tops and buy. He now understands that he can buy the bottoms or into the bottoms with STRC. And I think the crypto market just kind of overthinks it. I think a lot of people yell at Saylor. What is he doing? Is it good for Bitcoin? Is it bad for Bitcoin? We have this maniac, and I use that in a loving way, love Saylor, buying as much Bitcoin as he can. And that, in the grand scheme of things, can't be that bad for the market, can't be that bad for price. He sold a little bit recently, 32. He got a lot of flack for that. To me, that was just a signal to the creditors, some of the, the regulators that watch him, that he is willing to sell Bitcoin, because if he claims he can use the Bitcoin to pay back the percent every month, every 2 weeks on the STRC, but he has never sold, then is it really worth anything if you're not willing to sell? Saylor proved that wrong, and he's claimed for the last couple months he will be a net buyer. So as soon as he sold, 1-2 weeks later, he bought thousands more.
When he sold this 32 Bitcoin, we saw this massive, quite significant crash. I believe it was about 14 or 15% crash. And then when he bought far more than he sold, as you mentioned. I think he bought over 1,000 BTC. But then the price of Bitcoin didn't move. So do you think that Saylor's impact on the market is particularly strong when he sells rather than when he buys?
I think the actions and price of what we saw with Saylor basically defines the bear market. In a bear market, despite the good news you see, price stays flat or goes down. In a bull market, kind of like what we're seeing with AI right now, good news, even if there's bad news, price continues to go up. So I guess that shows not even Saylor, the god that Saylor is buying all the Bitcoin, he can't push us back into bull until we've had enough time, the time correction.
As you mentioned, Bitcoin crashed down to its 200-week moving average, which is a key indicator, because historically, I believe that Bitcoin sort of touched that level about 4 times, if I'm not mistaken, and that was always like an incredible buying opportunity for the long run. So what do you think? Have we reached like a bottom on this? Is it a great buying opportunity?
Bitcoin in bear markets went back down to its 200-week moving average 4 times, like you said, or another way to say that is 100% of the time. Bitcoin reverts to the mean. It goes back to the 200-week, consolidates from there, just because any stock, any bond, any speculative instrument always reverts to the mean. And I think it's a Charlie Munger quote that says, if you take any asset, any high-quality asset, and you buy it around the 200-week moving average, you will outperform the stock market every day. Obviously, Charlie Munger didn't like Bitcoin, but the high-quality stock or the high-quality a project, I mean, Bitcoin's is it in crypto. So the fact that we reverted to the mean, Bitcoin's back to the 200-week, incredibly bullish to me, because we did it so much faster than bear markets in the past. Now, that doesn't mean the bear market is over. This begins the bottoming process, the beginning of the end of the bottoming process. What we need to see now is, number one, the lower time frame moving averages like the 50 consolidate into it. It's going to take 4 or 6 months to do, maybe faster if Bitcoin really breaks down more. I don't know. But the only time, Giovanni, that Bitcoin has ever dropped below the 200-week moving average, usually just touches it, consolidates, and starts moving up, new bull market below, was in the bear market of last year, FTX collapse. Literally in 2022, 23, the second largest exchange globally by trading volume was collapsing. People really didn't know, wow, is this going to be an 8-year, 6-year? Is this going to be a lot worse than people think? Bitcoin maybe dropped 15, 20% below it, consolidated, and worked its way back up. Is this bear market worse than 2022 FTX collapse? I don't think so.
Yeah, we definitely don't have like the same negative catalyst that we had back then. Although it remains to be seen whether the broader macroeconomic condition will be favorable to Bitcoin. And I believe that the macroeconomic picture has the biggest role, I guess. What do you think?
I think that AI are the big winners of 2026. They were big winners of 2025. There's nobody in the world, globally I'm talking, that doesn't understand that AI in the US market is in a bull market right now. Like we have the SpaceX IPO, it just happened, the big money, they had years and years to do it. Me personally, I'm not taking part of it because I don't have an edge. Maybe it goes up, maybe it goes down. But what I do think is that money, billionaires, millionaires will be made in the SpaceX IPO from those early investors selling into retail. That money is not going back in the stock market. The liquidity from the SpaceX IPO, the money is going into crypto. And I do think real estate in the Silicon Valley area, just because AI is a momentum trade, crypto is a value trade. If you're a value investor, the crypto market's it right now. If you're a momentum trader or a momentum investor, then that's going into AI.
Most of the takes I hear is that actually these IPOs that we are seeing coming up now are net bearish for crypto, specifically because all the liquidity that is out there is going to be distracted from crypto and put into these big IPOs. So you seem to have a bit of a different perspective on this.
I'm not saying that the real estate in Silicon Valley the next day after the SpaceX IPO is going to go up. I'm saying 6, 12, 18 months later, a lot more millionaires, a lot more 100 millionaires, whatever that is, will be made. And that's going to start to go into the real estate in California, in hot markets. That's going to go into crypto. SpaceX holds Bitcoin. They have more Bitcoin on their balance sheet than previously thought. They had to disclose through the SEC. I think a lot of investors have buckets. And if you want to continue the momentum, maybe that tops tomorrow. Maybe that lasts another 6 months, 12 months. Then you're going to put some money in the momentum bucket. And if you're a value investor, like I am, you're going to put a whole lot more money in the value bucket. And a lot of markets are overhyped right now. Crypto is leveling off Bitcoin near the 200-week moving average. That's the consolidation that historically has been very, very profitable if you were to buy and hold, wait 18 months.
Opinion leaders like, for example, Arthur Hayes are predicting that a big AI stock bubble burst is essentially around the corner, and that will drive crypto down with it. What is your take on this specific perspective?
I love Arthur Hayes. We've had him on the channel many times. A great interview. Altcoin Daily in general speaks to an audience of over 3.6 million across all social platforms. We get that question all the time. And yes, if traditional markets, especially the US stock market, specifically the AI tech, which has been popping off, if that crashes, it would be dumb to think that Bitcoin and crypto won't crash with it. Obviously, when you get a liquidity crunch, crypto is the most liquid when people need to sell to afford things, whether that's due to high oil prices, whether that's just to invest more in the momentum trade. It's easiest to suck liquidity out of the most traded 24/7 liquid asset. So that's Bitcoin. If the stock market crashes, Bitcoin's going to crash. I believe, though, that Bitcoin and crypto are at the beginnings of the end of their crash in the bottoming process. They're the canary in the coal mine. They're the signal first. and they'll be the first to recover as well.
Most of the altcoins out there are down very heavily, except a few exceptions. So one exception is, for example, Hyperliquid, which is outperforming everyone else. In 2026, I think it's up 140%. So it's one of the few examples of an altcoin that has a real functioning revenue generating model. Do you believe that that is what makes it stand out?
I believe in a bear market, we see the quality rise to the top. 90% of this crypto market will not come back. I think a lot of altcoins have yet to announce that they're shutting the doors. The big things I find value in, and I think how you can tell which altcoins are the quality, for lack of a better word, that will be here 2-3 years from now, is, to me, it comes down to network effect or product market fit. That's why I'm still a big believer in Ethereum. The network effect, I think, is its value. A lot of these other coins, Solana, Sui, we talk about them all the time. They're runners up, but Ethereum has the biggest network, and I think that's what's people are going to find the value in 2-3 years from now when risk on comes back, along with Solana. I'm not saying the others will go away, but Hyperliquid clearly has product market fit and is now gaining the network effect. The biggest reasons Hyperliquid coin is going up is because it's seeing real use. People want to trade 24/7. They want to hedge their risk, trade the oil markets, trade the corn markets, whatever it is. Hyperliquid offers them a way to do that. But two, their tokenomics, they buy back the coin. It's actually incredibly simple. And I think other coins should take a page from Hyperliquid's book of Ethereum. If the Ethereum Foundation announced in a month that they will be taking the Hyperliquid approach and buying back 90% of using 90% of their revenue to buy back the token, that'd be a game changer. Ethereum would be the new hotness again, or any coin. Plain and simple. As long as Hyperliquid continues that, then I'm bullish on the coin.
There is a lot of criticism around the tokenomics of Ethereum and a lot of talking about whether the Ethereum Foundation has done a good job or not. We saw a couple of weeks ago that a big Ethereum proponent, one of the biggest out there, David Hoffman, sold all its bags when it comes to ETH. And he basically said he doesn't believe that the ETH token has an upside potential any longer because of this tokenomic issue. Do you agree with him?
I think that's a bold move. I think that was a great move for him. I personally continue to believe that the network effect of Ethereum will pull through. I think really the decentralized nature of smart contracts, like smart contract platforms, that really hasn't hit mainstream yet. Like just like the NFT bubble, when that was really hitting. I'm not saying it'll last, but when the narrative hits that, whoa, this offers a decentralized way to build, to gain users, to launch products. Ethereum is the biggest game in town for liquidity, and it's only when it starts to become congested again, when so much use is again, like we've typically, except for this bull market, seen. When Ethereum gets congested, that's when you realize, oh, we need something better. Solana, BNB, whatever it is. Me personally, I think that's a bold strategy from David. I don't want the taxable event. I'll just hold mine. But I do agree that the coins he moved into, most of them have more momentum. I mean, and that has showed in the last 6 months.
Yeah, I think he mentioned something like Near and Hyperliquid, I guess.
And Zcash, I believe. And I will say this, if you want decentralization, then the slow-moving nature of Ethereum, the foundation, the people, the builders, that's what you're going to get. Something that's very centralized can move very fast. The value prop of crypto is decentralized nature. Now, of course, we know you need more than that, but I hope the Ethereum Foundation and all the parties in the Ethereum network can evolve and grow and get better. I believe they can. I'm still holding mine. But I agree that Ethereum has not performed well this cycle because they're just so scattered in terms of their mission.
We see record numbers when it comes to RWAs on Ethereum. We see like a record use of stablecoin payments. So it seems that the infrastructure of crypto has never been so solid, so much used in the world, but at the same time, we see this very negative sentiment in crypto. Why do you think there is such a disconnect between the price and the actual adoption of the technology?
I think too many people are focused short term, but when you look at the mega trends long term, crypto is inevitable. First, the biggest sort of mega trend that we've always had, the fundamentals of Bitcoin. Will governments and central banks globally, are they going to print less money? Are they going to become more fiscally responsible? Or are they going to print more money? I mean, we're seeing the Iran war. Wars are heavily inflationary. They're going to print more money. We can look at the M2 supply, see that continues to go up year after year after year. Right now, a lot of that money is flowing into AI that will flow into store value assets like Bitcoin, like we've seen for the last 16 plus years of Bitcoin, whatever it's been. Mega trend number 2 is tokenization. You cannot tell me with the largest financial market in the world, the United States, they are tokenizing the stock market. That's with or without the Clarity Act. Clarity Act would make it more sticky, but the SEC has totally changed. The CFTC has totally changed. They're allowing 24/5 trading, revolutionary in the stock market compared to what we've seen. That's a big mega trend that's not going away. So when you look at all these mega trends, we're in another bear market. This is a buying opportunity. This is the chance to cut your losers and double down on your winners. And I think the ones hitting the mega trends like that, they're going to be much, much clearer of an opportunity when the risk appetite comes back.
Thanks a lot, Austin, for the conversation. It's obviously always a pleasure to see you here.
Love being here, man. Love Cointelegraph.